Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
You're listening to TalkSlamRadio.com. From our studios to the world, we bring you the finest in quality entertainment. So grab a beverage, put out the do not disturb sign, and settle in for another fine show from TalkSlamRadio.com.
Welcome to the Bonz show. I call it the Bonz. It's an abbreviation of my first and last name. This is a show about comedy students, and anybody who wants to call in with one of their jokes. And let me give you that number so I can get started if you want to call in. Tell me your best joke. Or let me give you that number if you want to call in with one of your best jokes or something that you've heard, maybe something I can steal. The number is 727-597 4022. 727-597-4022. And there's more than one reason why I have this show is I like to get your opinion. Being a student of comedy, I like to get your opinion on what your favorite team is, comedy team of all time, past and the present, and where there might be some local comedians that are looking for someone like me, or if you're looking for a partner, maybe you can consider me, or I'll consider you if you can call in. We can tell your joke, or where the best place is to find improv in Pinellas County or Hillsborough County. And I'll give you my opinions on, if you like comedy teams, what's the best to get. Let's say, for example, those Abbott and Costello movies. I think a few of them are pretty good, but they don't really do Abbott and Costello to justice. So about 5 or 6 do. If you really want to get the best of Abbott and Costello, get the TV series they did, 2 seasons. I'm not even talking about Colgate Comedy. I'm talking about the two seasons they did. I mean, it's just slam, bam, it's like shotgun. It's like Mel Brooks, one bang up situation after another. And I said, some of this stuff is so wild. It's like 70 years old, 60, 70 years old. And it's great. If you're an Abbott and Costello fan, that stuff's better. I mean, just 1.5 hour show is better than all Buck Privates. And that's a good representation of what they did. Not the Frankenstein, Invisible Man, and Dracula and all that stuff and running around screaming and yelling. I mean, if you think that's funny, I guess it is all right, but not much setup. But the half-hour show that they did, and you can get that pretty cheap. Anyway, if you're looking to tell one of your best jokes, you can tell it. I don't know what the audience is on this, but don't be afraid to call in. I was supposed to have a guest here today, but they might make it later. Anyway, another hobby of mine, and I'll go back to comedy in a second. If you're looking for anti-aging ideas as far as supplements go, they're not my ideas. They're just accumulated knowledge. Being a security guard for the last so many odd years, I read many books and listened to a lot of people. And we'll get into that. If you want to know what a good thing is to, if you look it up on the internet, what I tell you, you'll find out that I'm telling you some of these things are very good as far as anti-aging. That's just a side thing to fill in the gaps here. We're waiting for a call. I might tell you my own jokes. I don't think you want that. And let's see what else we got to cover here. So comedy is something that they say brevity is the soul of wit. I myself, if I see it coming, it's got to be, to me, 10 times funnier if I see it coming. That's for me. But then again, if I see something coming and it's very good. Okay. What's your name? Or whatever name you want to give.
Hi, my name's Sally.
Hi, Sally. Do you have a joke?
No, I don't have a joke. I was on the Talk website and I saw your show and I just was wondering, who are your favorite comedians?
Oh, I see my comedians. Well, I think Chaplin's the greatest, but he wouldn't make me laugh with a duct tape shotgun to my head. But I think he's the greatest, but he just won't make me laugh. And I think recently I'd say Abbott and Costello from the half-hour show that they did. If you see that, you really see some slamming stuff.
That's awesome.
You want to hear one of their bits? It's real short.
Yes, of course.
Some lady's walking down the stairs, and not Abbott, the fat guy, Lou's sitting there, standing there, minding his own business. And this lady walks down the stairs and just slaps him silly and goes, "How dare you remind me of somebody I hate?" I said, that is so psychotic. It's so funny and psychotic, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I see you're broken up about it. I'll give you another one. He's standing there on the stoops, and some lady walks by. And he says, he slaps him and goes, what do you think you're staring at? Just because you look like a lonely woman who lives by herself on Melrose and 52nd Avenue and 12th Street with phone number 727, et cetera, et cetera. You know, giving all the details. She's trying to play hard to get, but she's giving all the details like she's the horniest broad on the planet. Stuff like that. It's old, but it's timeless.
Yeah.
Timeless
forever.
Hmm?
No, well, thank you so much for telling me what your favorite comedians are. I look forward to listening to more of your show.
Okay. All right. I look forward to seeing more of you or hearing more of you.
All right.
This is my first show. I'll get better as time goes by.
No, they were funny. It just might have went over my head. I'm blonde.
Yeah, so am I. If you look close enough, it's all natural. It's what it says in the bottle, at least.
See, that I thought was funny.
Oh yeah. Well, you want more or less? I'll take the shirt down a button.
Oh, more or less with a button-down shirt.
Yeah.
Turn into a different kind of show then.
I'm 55. I ain't got no hair on my chest. What does that tell you?
You got good genes?
Oh, no, I didn't pay too much for them. I'm a test tube baby that failed. Let me introduce my special guest, Roger. He's filling in for the janitor who's out with a crack problem. Well, hang on if you like. I'll let Roger kick in.
How you doing?
Hi, Roger.
Hi, my name's Roger. I'm usually have a show on Monday nights called The Rocket Man Show. So, what's your name?
My name's Sally.
Hi, Sally. How are you doing this evening?
Pretty good. Watching the Bonds.
Hey, have you ever heard of that song by Ringo called "Sneaking Sally Through the Alley"?
I haven't. I've heard Mustang Sally.
Oh, I guess you have. Huh?
Oh, that was the second version.
Yeah, the backseat version.
Oh.
I don't imagine you're the type.
I'll have to look it up.
I don't imagine you'd be in the backseat of anybody's car.
No, I like the front seat.
Well, that sounds good. Well, we won't go there. But anyway, I don't want to do Don Rickles. You never know who's waiting out in the parking lot.
Well, thank you for answering my question, and I look forward to watching more of your show.
All right, I'll throw one more. Jerry Lewis is one of my favorite ones. All right, thank you for calling.
Thank you.
Well, Roger, if you had showed up, I got a question for you. I've been always wanting to know this. Now, not everybody's opinion, the Beatles were the greatest band of all time, but it's pretty close to unanimous. No, not unanimous.
Well, you know, if the Monkees had proper management, they would have been better than the Beatles. That's what they all say, though.
You know, the Monkees say something interesting. The Monkees sold, while they were together, sold more records in that time frame than the Beatles did. Now, I think that's just America. Yeah, they sold more records in America at the time than Pepper and all that other stuff. But my question was, Roger, if you had to pick the second best band of all time, I got about 10 of the number that would come in number 2.
Oh, see, so you think the Beatles are the best band of all time?
Well, I think most people might say that, but as time goes by, memories fade.
Actually, one of my favorite band that hasn't been doing much of anything anymore is Boston.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I like Boston. Oh, I love that More Than a Feeling.
Yeah, this is excellent music. It's too bad that Brad Depp offed himself, you know.
Which one was that?
The singer.
The lead one?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I thought the Badfinger did that too.
Brad Depp offed himself by asphyxiation in his garage.
You know, Brad.
Depression. That's what drove him to it.
I thought that was the guy from Badfinger that did that. Killed himself in a garage.
He might have, but
this guy did too. Okay.
Brad Depp was a very successful singer, songwriter, producer. He had a fiance, and he just depression just overcame him, and it killed him.
You know, I'd hate to be I would love to be able to write good songs, but it's how do you top certain things?
I write songs. Yeah, I write.
No, I mean I love to be one, but how do you top once? Like yesterday, how do you go from where do you go from there? You know, like the Beatles.
Well, if you're questioning yourself like Bruce Springsteen did after he did the Super Bowl, he said, "There's nothing else that can top this." So
I still like him. I just think it takes about 3 of his records to make one good one from the past.
Well,
but that's a compliment. I just think he needs an editor. He doesn't need any more ability. I just think he needs somebody to tell him, "Hey, don't put that one on this record. You know, keep that one, but
Yeah, play Born to Be Wild."
You know that who I really love is still good after all these years. 2 of them, Santana and Neil Young.
Santana, yeah.
They still got the chops.
I guess I got to see them, and they signed a drumstick for me, the whole band.
Oh, that must have been a big drumstick.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be. You know, it.
Does that come with a side at Kentucky Fried?
Yeah, excited Kentucky Fried. I'll take original myself.
You know that girl sounded pretty hot.
Yeah, she did. Well, what's your name and number? We'll call you later.
Yeah. That reminds me of you can't go by how someone sounds. I've been on a lot of blind dates, and by the time I showed up there, I'd rather be with the blind. You know, they were blind. The dog looked better. You know, but you can't go by the voice. You know.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot of these sex talk phone-ins that you can call into where you get somebody that sounds totally hot, but they could be a fat O, you know.
Well, I won't use that. I call it gravitationally challenged.
Yes, gravitationally challenged.
I mean,
that's really good.
I mean, on a moon somewhere, she might weigh something less.
All
mean,
right.
My girlfriend, my last. This friend of mine I used to go up and down 4th Street. He said, "Dave, let's go up and down 4th. You'll find something hot. And you'll probably find him stumbling out of a bar."
Mm-hmm.
And so one time, finally, after 100 years of doing this, he came home with some hot-looking, stumbling. I'll keep it clean. Of course, when it comes to me, you could tell my life. You could film my love life to your grandmother, and she'd probably be glad she's about to kick something, a bucket. Mm-hmm. But anyway, you can show it in nursing homes as a sedative. Well, anyway. Brought this girl home to my house, good looking, drunk as, etc. And what's his name? Well, he got there. Yeah, but man, this drunk nymphomaniac, I got nowhere. Thing is, when I get around hot looking women, I break into Groucho.
Groucho?
Yeah.
How's that?
Just one dumb joke after another. I get nervous.
Oh, okay.
But you think when the girl's drunk how's that going to make a difference? It makes a difference.
Look beyond the beauty and the curvatures, and you'll be able to find the inner person that you're actually looking for.
Oh, I got you. Look at the booty and the beast.
Well, I was trying to say look beyond all of that because when it's like when you set out to be a millionaire, you're not really trying to be a millionaire. You're just trying to be successful.
You know, I'm going to write that advice down. It's going to be really easy because I heard I took notes. Blah, 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 blah. I'm a chauvinist. Not really. I'm not a chauvinist. I don't want to say that. I want to keep nice girls. Well, what's her name calling? What was her name?
Sally.
I guess it still is then. Sally. Well, thanks for calling.
Mustang Sally.
Yeah, I heard that one. What would you say, Roger, would be well, not everybody likes the Beatles, so I was just noticing, looking at a Pink Floyd record the other day.
Mm-hmm.
That last one was great. And it's
Which one?
almost 20, Division Bell. It's almost 20 years. What are they doing?
I don't know. It was 1979 when The Wall came out, and that was wrote almost entirely by Roger Walters.
Roger Waters.
I'm
Yep.
sorry. Roger Waters is a genius. I mean, he was kicked out of the band for a little while. I don't know if he's back with them or not, but we hope that they're doing their best. I'd love to see a show by them. We have a band that comes in here every once in a while. They're called Floydsome, and they have a laser light show, sort of like theirs. You know, they try to.
What's it called?
Floydsome.
Is it a knockoff group?
Well, they played Pink Floyd kind of stuff, but they also play other stuff too.
Yeah, I heard the Go-Go's are a knocked up group.
They usually
excuse
go on
me,
at
that was bad.
8:30 on Monday nights.
Oh, you know, I know. I love Pink Floyd, especially after Metal. Metal, you can't believe Metal was good, but right after that, you got Dark Side. Oh my God! Recorded only like 4 or 5 years after Pepper. If anything could top Pepper, it would be that. I'm saying if.
My first experience really with Pink Floyd is the Animals album.
Yeah.
Very, very much out there in some ways, yeah.
I think anything they did after Metal, while I'm listening to it, I think it's the best one because it's all so close.
Okay, here's a little trivia for you. What the Grammys didn't at one time didn't have a category for heavy metal. What band was it that they actually made the category for?
Donna and Marie on crack?
Nope.
Well, they'd probably sound heavy metal if they were doing crack. No, Nirvana.
Nope.
All right, let me try again. What year was this they did this?
Oh, jeez, I forgot. 80s.
You got me.
Metallica.
Oh, I was thinking the Kinks. You got me.
And they lost to frickin' Jethro Tull.
They lost to Jethro Tull? No way.
He's living in the past.
The first year they were nominated, they lost to Jethro Tull for the best metal.
I didn't know Tull was metal.
They're not.
They're not.
I got a question that seems so obvious that you won't get. Who on the planet could be more popular than Elvis? Who died the same year?
The same year as Elvis?
More popular than Elvis in his day. Oh, my God. I gave you the sex right there. More popular in this person's day. We already got the cat back. In his day, arguably even more than Elvis. And we're talking about artists. It doesn't necessarily be music. Or it could be music. It should be. It's a tough one, but you can't think it. You don't know? I do this to everybody. I stump them.
I have no clue.
Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
He died the same year as Elvis, and in his day, you could say he was as big or bigger than Elvis in his day.
Charlie Chaplin was very big in his day. He did some talkies at one time, but he stayed out of the limelight for a long time. That was 1977 when Elvis died, wasn't it?
Yeah, August 16th. I think Chaplin was Christmas Day, 1977.
Okay.
You know how many great people of all time in their genre died between 73 and 80?
Jim Morrison?
Oh, no. He's mediocre compared to who I'm talking about. When I say 80, I mean Lennon, Elvis. All right, now we got Chaplin already covered. Think of this guy as one that considered by a lot of people the greatest artist of all time. Now, that's subjective, and you always got different opinions.
And this is in 1983, you're saying?
73.
73.
Died in 73.
73.
And any kind of art form. It's not necessarily music. Picasso.
Picasso?
Yeah, he's my personal favorite. I understand people who don't like him and all, but I think if you had to pick one and you had to guess what the polls would say, I put my money there. It might be Dolly now. I don't know. I love him too.
Yeah.
But what do you think the second greatest band of all time is, to get back to that?
Okay, second greatest band of all time.
I mean, sales and popularity and consistency.
Well, Eagles?
Oh, that'd be I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I'd be put that in the top. Like I said, I got 10 that would fit the be tied for number 2, and that might be one of them.
Well, out of all of the songs that they rated as the top of any list in rock, Hotel California came up on top.
Oh, high school, man. That's all I ever heard was that one. I loved it, but
I love playing that on the bass or whatever.
Can you imagine? I was 7 years old when the Beatles hit. To me, it was just a fog, but it was a fog. But I knew greatness when I saw it, and I loved the music. But I'm like a kid with a rattle. I like the rattle. I don't know why, but there was some real crap. I mean, there was a group called the Hullabaloos.
I was 8 years old when I was invited to the greatest rock concert ever.
What was that?
Woodstock.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. When my cousin invited me to go, my parents stepped in and said, "No way."
Well, you might not have come out of there.
I might not have come back.
They say if you can remember the 60s, you weren't part of it.
Well, I was in my single digits at that time, so what can I say?
I was a single at the time with my digit, and I'd borrow a jar of something. All right, let me get the phone number again. If you want to call in and tell me your favorite jokes, or you just want to see a joke, what?
That's the number.
Oh, okay. I don't have to look at my writing. 727-597-4022. Tell us your jokes and what do you think comes as the second best band of all time? And I hope it's somebody I've heard of.
Second best band of all time.
Let me ask you, have you ever heard of a group called, I wouldn't put these in there. I love them though. It's Verve.
Who?
You ever heard of not Verve Pipe?
Nope.
That's a porno group. It's called Verve.
Never heard of it.
They were together about 93 to about recently, and they broke up and had a reunion record. Wasn't too good. They sound like Oasis, and you had to put Oasis and Pink Floyd together. That's what they sound like.
Name a band that
I love trivia. Go ahead.
For 20 years never played live.
Well, are they a popular band?
Yes.
Chicago.
Oh no, Chicago plays live all the time.
Well, give me the first 20 years. Give me a clue.
They did a song called "Games People Play."
Oh, okay. That's a Motown thing.
Nope.
Oh, I know, Alan Parsons.
Very good. All right. Now they have a live show.
No, I'm just saying that's because they're mostly do this stuff in the studio. They did a lot of Beatles. The engineer did Beatles stuff.
They did they did everything in the studio, and they made millions just doing studio work. But
I should
in the last 5 years,
I don't think anybody could lose on that.
In the last 5 years, they've started touring, and because they realized that they can make more money doing a tour than the album does.
No, I like it when they reissue those albums remastered, which I can't tell the difference. But when they add the extra tracks, that's when I like them. See, they've been doing a lot of that with Elvis.
Mm-hmm.
They give you a bunch of extra tracks, and ask me some more of those because I'm a big 60s, 70s music buff.
Well, do you know the difference between analog and digital?
No.
Analog, if you play some of your old record, huh?
Any trivia?
That's trivia.
Okay.
Analog has more smoother tones to it.
Oh yeah.
If you've played a record and played a CD, you'll hear a big difference between the tones.
Let me ask you this. This is related to that. I have the Beatles' Help album on Hope, the American one, and to me, all their American stuff sounds better. Double track, quadruple track, big banging noise.
Well, the Beatles didn't really make it big until they came to the U.S.
Yeah, the VJ stuff didn't make it.
At first in England, they didn't really care that much for them. But after they made their first American tour, they were well received by their own country.
Now, about analog and digital, I'm starting to bore myself with this one, but if you get Help, the American Help album, you put the needle right on Ticket to Ride. You hear this guitar riff banging out. I wish it could have, to me, every Beatles song could have been 20 seconds longer to 30 seconds longer without even being too long. But back then they had a different reason. But anyway, that's just banging. But when you hear it on and I don't care what CD you listen to, the American, it just loses something.
Mm-hmm.
The album is banging. The CD of it sounds like they got not the CD, the CD or the 45 for the jukebox sounds like they got a sock over the speaker.
Well, you know that some people don't realize that new releases are still being put out on vinyl.
Oh yeah, I know.
And you know that some record players can be as much as $5,000.
You know, Coldplay put out their LP, the recent one on LP. I said, how's before CD, about a month before. I said, how does anybody expect? I mean, you just go down and buy the album and then pirate it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do they expect that not to happen? I love Coldplay, U2. That would be one of my top second favorites of all time.
U2, very good band.
Coldplay, if they keep at it.
Mm-hmm.
Pink Floyd, Zeppelin. You know, they had Zeppelin on Charlie Rose the other day. Charlie Rose kept pushing them. Why don't you keep doing it? Why don't you do some more? Why don't you?
Well, Led Zeppelin was considered to be the first heavy metal band ever, and even the first acid rock band.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, I didn't see. I like a lot. I love about 30% of what they do. Like about 20%. I mean, like the album Presence.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, you got to be a fan. I know. But then Through the Outdoors, a great one.
One of my favorites that started in the '60s has just put out a new album about 3 months ago. They're kind of considered to be hard rock metal. Rush.
Oh, they've been around a while.
Since the late '60s.
Oh yeah.
Their first the one album that got them really noticed was 2112.
I've got to get a big download of all their stuff because some of it's really good for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then pick out what I like.
They had a song that was kind of humorous on one of their first albums. It's called "The Trees." Have you heard it?
Mm-mm. Well, I might have heard it. I can't place it with the. There's something special on this week on Rush.
Oh, there is.
It's either a concert or a blast from something on VH1.
I saw them in 2004 over at what used to be called the Ford Amphitheater, which is now the Ask Gary Amphitheater, and they were phenomenal. 3.5 hour show.
You know, one of my topics was going to be on creativity, so this covers what you're talking about. And I've noticed that, and I've learned a lot of some of these people while they're playing their current hits and their current stuff and their oldies, while they're playing it, they'll get a certain riff will come to their mind. Maybe they're embellishing a song, like U2 will embellish a song, and some of that embellishment could be just a spark of another song that they'll write and finish writing later on. They'll show up on an album 4 years later or something. I'll tell you something that's really hard to believe. If the Beatles had 19 albums, oh, by the way, I got so much Beatles, well, I won't go there. Beatles had 19 albums. I count the wall twice. Albums. If they released their product at the same release rate as U2, Let It Be would have been out 2 years ago, and that would have been it. U2 every 4 or 5 years, had they done it that way. And I think some of their solo stuff is great. But the thing is, Paul McCartney, to me, was really starting to kick ass and take names. With Let It Be and Long and Winding Road. If you listen to Let It Be, you only got John Lennon on a '67 song he did, and then a couple duets. His voice is all over, but he didn't write. I could do without "I'd Dig a Pony."
Well, John Lennon was the most successful of the Beatles. The others actually had some singles, like George Harrison.
Oh yeah.
Ringo Starr. He did. He had a few hit singles.
Oh yeah. I was telling the boardman. I think Ringo puts out a better album than Paul lately.
But Ringo was more like a tag along for the band. He was tagging along because his contribution wasn't all that great as say John Lennon and Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney is probably the richest musician in the country.
You imagine John Lennon and Paul McCartney, and then towards the breakup of the band, here you got George writing songs as good as they are. They quit about 3 or 4 years too early. Because here you got this guy with All Things Must Pass, that album.
Well, what can you actually expect when you lock the whole band up in one room like they did for a couple of years? They locked them all up in this warehouse and said, "Come up with something." Like it's like they're trying to be forced to do what they're supposed to do.
You know, there's a Let It Be. They recently released Magic Mystery Tour on DVD. And it's like about a minute and a half of something extra. Lord knows what it is. I couldn't find it. But anyway, Let It Be is at least 100 hours of audio and video. Now, when they release that, I hope they give you the choice. You know, my idea was what they could do is give it to you as they put it on film originally.
Mm-hmm.
Then, out of the 100 hours, give you the one where they're all playing together, everything that's where they're playing together, and then emphasizes John. Volume one set. And then another set where emphasizes Paul in the group. That's got to wherever Paul's in a group or out of solo on the piano. And give you that kind of your favorite, and then give you the whole 100 hours.
Do you play anything? Any instruments?
None that I care to mention.
No.
There's a joke in there somewhere. By the way, if you want to call and tell a joke, or if you don't want to tell a joke, you're gonna hear more of that crap. 727-597-4022. All right, what were you saying?
Oh, anyway, I play about 9 instruments.
Oh yeah,
and I try to be busy with all that kind of stuff. I record myself. I've got one recording on 98 Rock, 102.5. You know, some of the local radio stations around here.
Which one of the radio stations has a DJ where it's not so much in the can, where they can joke around a little bit? You know.
Oh, well, you can joke around with any DJ job, you know.
Well, I mean, calling up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the job, you don't have to prepare anything.
Well, that would probably be Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh, yeah? Well, I've listened to him. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
Is he still on?
You know that 102.5 used to play music. Now it's all talk.
102.5 AM?
They used to be called The Bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's FM now.
Yeah. Well, who listens to AM?
Well, I got health radio I listen to on 1250 AM. Or is it
we actually have a health program out of the station.
Oh, yeah?
That's our top-rated program.
That's my second passion, anti-aging. Oh, I said I would give you an anti-aging herb today. Look up, oh man, I got to take one from memory. Reishi mushroom. Longevity magazine last month showed through its studies that, and I'll make this short because I'm boring both him and me, it can extend your life 16 years. Reishi mushroom. I got 1 million other ones for the weeks coming.
Yeah, but there's a problem with the reishi mushroom. If you take it in too much, don't
smoke it.
It's a blood thinner.
Oh yeah, well, don't take it in too much. You do your own research. You might want to get the whole herb or the extract or a bottle where it has both in one.
It's along the lines of heparin or that stuff that's rat poison. I forget what it's called.
Coumadin.
Coumadin, yes.
I got that in the attic.
Yeah. Well, reishi mushroom is very much the blood thinner, but it's hard to regulate because you never know what is too much or what is too little.
Well, aspirin kills 10,000. It's FDA approved, and it kills 10,000 people a year. They bleed to death.
Probably from taking too many of them, though.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's that or not.
It's supposed to be the wonder drug.
Well, I believe it is, but see, aspirin was before Bayer. They call it Bayer aspirin. Bayer found white willow and turned that herb into an aspirin. It's the same thing, just turned into a drug. You take white willow, you get the thinningness of it. You don't get the side effects because it's just a herb. You probably find it in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, back to comedy. I guess no one's got any jokes. 727-597-4022.
Now, Nolan, our CEO of this radio station, loves to do a comedic act over at the Kickin' Wing on 52 in Hudson.
What? The city?
Yes, Hudson.
What?
Well, it's more like Port Richey. It's
okay.
on the Port Richey side of Hudson.
I got something that happened when I was a joke, sort of.
I like his jokes and all, but I'm not really into the jokes where you have to cuss to make a point. You know, it's sometimes it does make a point, but there's a lot of comedians that actually have made a good living at clean jokes, such as Red Skelton.
Oh, I got a lot of stuff of his at home. documentary just recently. I got a lot of his TV, official last season in color.
The Dean Martin roasts are a very good one too.
I got a lot of those.
I'd like to get
And
a copy
show.
of those.
And his show. The roast, then is regular. That reminds me, I was an altar boy when I was, do you know Hitler was a Catholic?
Hitler was Catholic?
Yeah, anyway, it has nothing to do. Oh, when I was an altar boy, the whole time I was an altar boy, I was felt up and down, side to side, the whole time.
Uh-huh.
I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to turn myself in, but
okay.
Right, that was the joke. Forget it. No priest molested me. It was me, okay? You gotta have canned laughter and then open that can. But anyway, Hitler was a Catholic. But he loved his mama.
It's hard to say if he really.
This ain't that Catholic, by the way. And if you listen to me, I wasn't talking about anybody feeling me up at me. But anyway, I am looking for a comedy partner. I'm someone we can bounce things off of, do improv, maybe on this show or some other show.
How about a play with words?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance.
Well, you start off with something. I'll come up with something.
I'm walking by a massage parlor, and they see me, and they grab Teamster signs.
Teamster signs, yes. They grabbed the Teamster signs, and you know what happened next? They got tackled by the Teamsters Union.
Well, see, they didn't want to deal with me naked, so they decided to go on strike.
Yeah, they struck out the opposite direction.
Yeah, that's right. I once went to the VD clinic once, and this is a clean joke.
There's actually a VD clinic around?
Well, I don't think they call it health. It was called the health department.
Health clinic, yes, yeah.
And this other girl was in there, just me and this other girl. And I just so incompetent talking to women, especially if I find them good looking. Then I'm really a boob. I asked this girl, I said, I just didn't think it's watch too many movies, think you can get lines at work. I said, do you come here often? I took her rejection as personal, but then again, how is she going to answer that?
Well, if you get the same ho drum lines like that,
well, she might have been a hoe.
What you really want to do is look at her and see what her strong suits are, and make a little joke about certain things. Not something personal, but something that you might find to be humorous.
Some of these women, they I don't know, maybe I look too long or too hard, but some of them look at you like they hate your stinking guts. Even if you're looking at them in a place where I say, what do you think I'm looking at you for? Because, I'm with the Census Bureau or something. I say, someone's looking up and down like you're a pork chop, and you look at them like you're the father of their kids that you ain't taking care of. Something really horrible. Like you got a white sheet over your head or you're a chauvinist or something. You got an attitude that says, listen, all I can say is if you weren't something worth looking at, I wouldn't be looking at you. I ain't apologizing for being a man. But some of them can be really mean.
Well, I've come to the point to where sometimes if you have one approach where you're looking at them sexually, that's when you want to take another approach and just start treating them like a friend. And then they'll have more of a response to you.
I got fired from Home Depot back in the 80s. Every girl I asked out said the same thing, and that's where I got the Teamsters. I feel like they must be unionized, Every girl I asked out said the same thing. You got money?
They actually asked you, do you have money?
They actually said that. Same way, same tone of voice. And I was in the break room, and I said to the guy in lumber, was on break, and I said, you watch this. The next girl that comes in here that I ask, not everyone I'm interested in asking, said the same thing. And she said it. I already asked earlier, but she said it. And next thing I know, I said something I shouldn't have said, and I got fired.
Well, I have an advantage over a lot of guys, being that I'm a musician.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, there's been a lot of times when right after we did our gig that some of the girls would spot me out, and I'd take them to my jam room where we all practice, and I'd be there the whole night. And I'd come back the next day and tell the guys and point at my knees and said, "Rug burns, guys! I got rug burns on my knees."
From gigging to gagging.
It's been many a time that I've done.
My glasses?
Yes, those are your glasses.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'll try to keep this show. We must have one listener, and it was that lady.
Well, if I'd have known this, you would want to say like a comedic act, I would have come more prepared for it.
Oh, no, that's okay. I like music, too. I even have that written here before. See, I wrote that down there. You didn't see me write it down. It was already written there.
Well, we do have some of the local artists that we can play.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. How about our engineer in there? Are you alive? Oh, there he is.
Barely.
Okay. Give us a little music that we can go on to for one. One of the songs. Say Michael McMagic or something.
Not all of it, though.
Just one.
All right, let's see what I can.
I think it's more trivia. I am good at 60s music.
60s music. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I grew up with a jukebox in the house.
Okay. Classical guess. Who does that?
Mason Williams.
Very good.
Who does our intro? Of course, you haven't heard it.
No, I haven't heard our
That's
intro.
a tough one. Oh, my God. I got to get some of those things myself.
What's that?
Oh, some of the tracks look good. I wonder if they could download those for me. Put it on MP3.
Well, this is mostly the local music. We used to do some national music, but we have to pay out for that.
All right, I'll tell you. I got a trivia question. Name all the Bond movies that didn't have Moore, Connery, Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan, and that new guy, Daniel Craig.
Uh-huh.
Name the ones that
Roger Moore.
No, everything but those.
Casino Royale.
All right, that's one.
Yeah, Casino Royale.
Peter Sellers.
Yeah. As a matter of fact,
Peter Sellers?
Yep.
Yep.
Wasn't David Niven Bond in that?
Yeah.
Okay, I think there's one other one. Oh yeah, well no, I think he's got him because that.
Who is your favorite Bond, by the way?
That's funny. Connery's my favorite Bond, but there's so much more going on in the Roger Moore movies. I
think I really like the Roger Moore best, but they're both they're good. They're both excellent.
If you look at Moonraker, now you could call this a criticism, but that's like 3 Bond movies in one. They're in outer space, they're in a swamp, they're over here, they're over there. I love the movie.
It's enough to keep you captivated to want to come back and go see the movie again.
You ever watch? Yeah, I loved it. It's my favorite. Did you ever see that's the good question. Which one made the most? But that keeps changing.
How about a View to a Kill?
And that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. To me, the guy that wrote that script seemed like it wasn't a bad movie, but had it come out about 9 years earlier.
But what was it inspired by?
No, I don't know.
A Duran Duran song called "A View to a Kill."
You mean it?
Duran.
There's Ian Fleming. There's a short story called "A View to Kill."
Yeah, but Duran Duran still put that song out, and not but a few years later, they did the movie.
Yeah, but I think that "View to a Kill" is they don't base them on those Ian Fleming things too much anymore, anyway, because people's appetite for action. And those books were well written, but they didn't have a whole lot of going on in them.
Yeah, they're using a lot more of their imagination these days.
I mean, if you look at Read You Only Live Twice, it's well written, but I think all the guy does is go into some Japanese camp somewhere, and that's about the whole. Then the book's done.
I think I'm not really that hip on the new Bond. The guy that's playing Bond now. I'd rather have Pierce Brosnan than him.
Yeah, why'd they get rid of him?
I don't know. I think he only had 1 or 2 episodes.
Well, the guy now is good, but I'll tell you, back with View to a Kill, I heard Roger Moore say, "Oh, they fired me. They thought I was getting too well." That's not true. I mean, the movie just didn't have much imagination to it. You always got to be surprising people with a Bond movie.
Roger Moore is actually still around.
I saw him on Larry King a year ago, and if he got laser treatment and everybody didn't know he's ancient, just a little tighten up with laser treatment, he
Uh-huh.
could still do a Bond movie with some soft lenses and some drunken audience. You know, pass the booze out. He looked pretty young. He's got to be pushing 80.
Well, another classic movie series. Well, you can almost call it a series. Is Star Wars? They're coming out with another one.
3 more.
Another movie of it.
3 of them.
Do you know when the first one's coming out?
No, I think they're the guy that's doing Star Trek is going to be starting on it soon.
Yeah, it's J.J. Abrams, and it's coming out in 2015.
What? Star Wars?
Yeah.
What about Star Trek?
Star Trek's coming out this summer.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And the thing is about Star
Love
Trek,
'em.
they sold all of the models from every series, every movie. They sold all of them of the spaceships, of the Starship Enterprise. Some of them went for as much as $500,000 just for a model that only cost them $5,000 to make.
Yeah, I got them all on DVD, and if you put enough, I didn't see them to death. I saw them, but I didn't see them to death. Having a shaky memory and not seeing them to death, it's like watching them for the first. They still hold up, especially general. I don't like Voyage too much. Female, but okay. I mean, she did a good job as a captain. I just don't.
Okay. Here's a little trivia. What movies was she in?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care.
Do you remember a movie called Remo Williams?
Yeah.
With Joel Grey and
I like that. I wonder why there was no more sequels to that.
There should have been a sequel to that.
Fred Ward was Remo Williams.
Yeah, Fred Ward.
Yeah. Did you see the preview to Die Hard, the new one?
The
new one coming out. Ooh, that looks killer.
Yeah, it comes out on Valentine's Day.
That's got to be soon, isn't it?
Yeah,
a new Die Hard movie?
Yep.
Yeah, it's coming out Thursday.
Jeez.
When?
Thursday. Hey, we're going to be all glued to the tube.
Oh, I love them Die Hard movies.
That's going to be out in the theater, right?
No. What do you think it's going to be? Bubba's Crack House?
Well, some services actually pipe it in.
They got a new sci-fi coming out with Tom Cruise.
Uh-huh.
They got Bruce Willis is coming out with The Rock in another G.I. Joe movie. Got a whole bunch of stuff coming out. This is about entertainment, mainly comedy. I was telling what my favorite comedy teams. If you know of any comedy teams or comedy improv groups in the Bay Area that's looking for a member, or they could come on this show and do their thing.
Well, there's one comedy group I'd love to see here come on the show.
Who?
Cheech and Chong.
Oh yeah. Did you see the last?
They were here last year.
I got that on film, DVD.
Oh,
Their
really?
show. Very good. I used to hear them in high school, man. They were.
Oh yeah, I used to hear them on the radio all the time in high school and then junior high and grade school and all that.
You know that to me, nothing was bigger than Martin and Lewis. And then there was Rowan and Martin. I said, okay, I like him.
Rowan Martin's laughing.
Okay, I like him. Then there was Smothers Brothers. Then Cheech and Chong finally made a good impact. I mean, wow. I mean, I think they beat that smoking stuff into the ground, but they were still good anyway. I mean, they were a great team together. It didn't always have to be about pot, and they were still good.
Yeah, but that was their big focus as being on pot.
No, I didn't dislike it. I like. I saw the other day. I saw Robin Mork and Mindy episode. I've been trying to find it forever. The name of the episode was on 3 or 4 days ago.
Robin Williams is a comedic genius.
Yeah, he was on Mork. It was one of the early ones. The name of the episode is Stark Raving Mad or Stark Raving Mork.
Who is it that you can actually name that is sort of like Robin Williams?
Well, most people think what he does is improv lately, and he says only about 5% is, but that's his videotape stuff. That was on his most recent release.
Now, if I was to name somebody that was somebody that is just like Robin Williams, that would be Jim Carrey.
Well, I think he's got the same amount of talent. Just don't think his improv is so.
They're probably both just as rich.
I think Robin Williams to be right up there with Jerry Lewis in his own way. I think Jerry Lewis can do more things. He's the jack of all trades. And I don't know. For instance, Robin Williams, some of his movies that most people didn't like, I did like, and vice versa. A lot of people liked it, and I didn't like it. What's that one we did with Walter Matthau?
Robin Williams and Walter Matthau?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Wow.
They're survivalists.
Oh, yeah, Survivor.
I thought he was great.
That's right. I have a copy of that myself.
That I loved. I love that. And then some of the other. I'll tell you what really made I loved is Michael Keaton, and most people haven't heard of this movie called Night Shift.
Yes, Night Shift. No, that's when he has prostitutes on the ring.
What?
They work at the morgue.
Yeah, they have parties at the morgue.
Partying at the morgue,
He
dude.
walks in and says, "See, Chuck, I'm an idea, man. I got musicals on this cassette, man. I Walkman. I got this. I got that. So what do we do? What do we do here, Chuck? Babysit stiffs and stuff." So they go around. And he pulls out a dead body out of a thing. And goes, "That guy's dead." It was funniest thing I ever seen, and it just didn't do much.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen is Porky's.
Oh yeah,
When that fat woman was pulling on that guy's dick through the wall.
was the guy's name?
No, he was pulling on that guy's dick.
Yeah, I'd laughed till I was
through the wall.
How many are there? 4 or 5 of them now?
I think there was about 3 of them.
You know, another thing that was really good. I'm talking about the greatest comedy. I should have said that. What's the greatest comedy performance you saw debut? To me, would be Night Shift. But another one he did, which is better, would have made a bigger impact had I saw it first, was Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Very good. Another very good
The first half hour,
Michael
man,
Keaton.
is not him at all, and it sucks.
Michael Keaton has had a very illustrious career. He was even Batman.
Oh, yeah, he did a good job there.
My favorite Michael Keaton, Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom, that was another one.
Multiplicities, not too bad.
Martin Mull was in that, and what was her name?
It was by John Hughes, too.
What was her name? Terry Garr. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you name one of Terry Garr's earliest movies?
I give me a multiple choice, I'll get it.
Okay.
You only have about 3 minutes left.
He was in a movie like an old world type of movie. Let's put it that way.
All right, let me give it that number one more time while I'm thinking on that.
Yeah, that would be Young Frankenstein, by the way.
Rollins a hay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Young Frankenstein.
No, that was the home movies of my mother-in-law when she was a child. Okay, the phone number is 727-597-4022. If you can think of any comedy clubs where they have improv groups, I'd like to invite them on. And plus, maybe they'll take on me or something.
Or maybe we'll have a couple of strippers here playing guitars, and when they're done, we'll just...
That reminds me, I didn't know what stripper meant. When I went to a strip joint, you know what they took off? Out the door. When they saw me, they just left. You don't have enough money to see us naked. And Rodney Dangerfield says, I went to a topless and bottomless bar and no one was there. Rodney Dangerfield.
No respect at all.
In real life, he had no respect for himself.
I guess not.
He was asked, what did you think of a vacation you took on to Hawaii? Somebody asked him. This wasn't a setup or joke or a Carson thing on the couch thing. What do you think? What do you expect? I was with me. It was the worst. The guy hated. I guess he stayed away from.
He was with 3.
What?
Yeah, 3. Me, myself, and I.
Yeah. You know, I would love. You know what would be great to get? You know how they release that Carson stuff out? Carson Animal Hijinks, that crap. Why don't they have a Carson or Tonight Show thing? All the Rodney Dangerfield stand up, and also when he goes to the couch, when he's funny as hell there too. All of them. That would be. I'd pay anything for all those.
Johnny Carson was phenomenal at what he does.
Well, I love him, but Rodney. I mean, when you see a Best of Carson cassette or DVD, you get about 5 seconds of them.
You know that Johnny Carson was also a part of the community called the Planetary Society.
No, he used to be a writer for Red Skelton. Too. That's Red put him on as a sub filling in. Mm-hmm. We're almost at the end of our show. I think we got about a minute and a half.
Too late for that song.
If you got any ideas about what we should talk about next time as far as comedy goes, what the best of the new and old comedians, and what do you recommend for a student of comedy like me and any of you we can watch, I'll bring you some more recommendations. Reishi Mushroom, I'll get that. And Goji, look up that. Both staples in China for anti-aging. Look it up. I ain't trying to sell you. I'm multi-level marketing.
And if y'all are up about this time tomorrow night, 7:30 to 8:30, my Rocket Man show is going to be on. I'll be the host of that show.
How much time we got left? Okay.
About a minute.
I had a comedy partner I was going to bring in today, but maybe I'm the only one who thinks she's funny, but she is so wacky. I mean, she just, I'm watching a movie with her today, man, passing gas, belching,
fledulence.
and
That's always a laugh.
I think it's funny, but
not until you have to smell it.
I bought her a 2-liter bottle of Pepsi, and boy, she was like some mainline heroin. Some people just cannot handle caffeine.
Uh-huh.
But I think she's very funny. When we're out together in public, me and her bounce off each other, and people laugh.
Well, for me, I usually have an espresso before I come on because that's lots of caffeine there.
Yeah. I think diet soda's got something going on besides that. I think it's cytotoxins that get you excited. That's why they call them excitotoxins.
Yeah, that's why we all get
above and beyond the caffeine.
Beyond the caffeine. There used to be something called Jolt. Yeah, you ever see that?
Yeah,
I've
tried that.
They took it out of the state of Florida for some reason.
I can stop your heart.
I don't know about that. It probably started up.
Well, when Diet Mountain Dew came out, I thought I died and went to heaven because I used to drink gallons of the regular stuff.
Uh-huh.
No wonder I was getting fat.
But, I'm more into fruit juice myself.
Yeah, it's best the juice stuff.
Working out and stuff.
You know what tastes like fruit juice that ain't? It's very chemically close to human blood. Not a joke.
No.
Carrot juice is the chemically very closest thing there is to human blood.
Carrot juice.
Yeah, carrot juice, not carrots. You got to juice it.
Uh-huh.
It tastes like a fruit juice by the time you juice it.
Why do you say it's close to human blood?
They heard it biologically. It's close to human blood as you can get and not be blood of any kind.
Okay.
I don't know where it got
Have you been in the medical industry?
Psychiatric ward.
Did you reside at Anclote Manor when it was up?
Well, they Baker Act me. I said, what's this got to do with bacon? What's with the padded walls? I mean, wallpaper should be thick, but not. This is crazy.
Well, did they ask for a cook if they wanted a baker?
No.
Oh, well, they're shit out of luck.
I've struck out with some of those. Oh.
Yeah, that was a dumb joke, too.
They're on duty. We'll be on next week, God willing, and I'll have a better prepared show. This is my first show, and I hope you liked it. And pay attention to the song coming out, closing out. It's a very rare, hard-to-get song by Ray. Well, we'll tell you who it is. All right, good. See you next week.